Hey everybody, this is Raf, and I'm a member at Vineyard Tallinn. What is an American doing in Tallinn, Estonia? That's the most often asked question when people ask where I'm from or what am I doing here. There's a lot to be said in that regard, so I'll keep it short. But I wanted to share a little bit of my testimony with you today. See, I have a long history with Estonia. My wife is Estonian, and I have two young children that are half Estonian and half American. It's awesome. My brother, he also has an Estonian wife with four half Estonian, half American children. We often say that we are starting a new breed of people called Estoricans, but that's besides the point. Estonia wasn't always in the picture. You see, I grew up in a Christian home with a father who was a pastor, a mother who served in the church, and two brothers on track to do full-time ministry as their occupations. However, I couldn't reconcile what was going on in my life with the story of Jesus. So as soon as I could, it was around the age of 18, I stopped going to church and started living my own life. Got good jobs, I had a lot of friends, and was living a pretty fun party lifestyle. Fast forward to 2002, I had visited my brother for Christmas, and I met a young Estonian girl named Maria. She was just 19 at the time, and I was around 26 or 27. I wasn't in a good place when I met her, and she was this young Christian girl who had, a lot of ethics around the ways of Jesus. But I wasn't in that same spot. You see, that kind of party lifestyle was starting to take a toll, and I was addicted to alcohol and drugs. So when I got back home after that visit, I didn't know what to do with myself, and I had to make some decisions. A lot of those things weren't easy. But in 2003, I decided to give my life back to Jesus and tried to follow him again. Yet I was still addicted to drugs and alcohol. And Maria knew that because I was very open with her about my situation. Fast forward to 2004, and I was sitting in church. It was February 1st, 2004. And I had just listened to a sermon about a character named Hannah in the book of 1 Samuel. See, she couldn't have children. And at that time, it was a real disgrace for a woman to not be able to have children. So she went to the temple and she prayed a prayer to God that was very specific. And God answered her prayer. Me being the ignorant young Jesus follower, I figured I'd take the same route and said a prayer that was similar to Hannah. I said, God, if you would take away this addiction, I'll tell everyone that you put in front of me of what you've done for me. I went to sleep that night and I woke up and I was no longer addicted to drugs or alcohol. Been clean and sober for over 15 years. It really is a miracle. That being said, what do I do now? Well, we got married in 2006 and we lived in America for about 12 years. And we moved to Estonia in 2018. You see, that whole 10 or 12 years, I was just trying to figure out what would I do in Estonia. And so I had a bunch of different skills, in leadership development and pastoral care and this type of thing. And I came as a missionary, trying to figure out how my story can help people meet and follow Jesus. Long story short, that didn't work out as well as I thought it would. However, being here has opened my eyes to some of the needs that are in Estonia and how I could be the most effective. One step I took was to join the Methodist Seminary here in Avramonte in Estonia, the Baltic Methodist Seminary. I've met a lot of people and I've leveraged a lot of the network, and I think I have a better understanding of how I can be effective here in Estonia. One of those ways is being an active member of my church. Like I said, I'm a member of Vineyard Tallinn. Our pastor, Anthony, has created a really great environment where people can come, meet, and follow Jesus. I've made some great friends, and it's been wonderful to have the support as we've been trying to figure out what it is that we're supposed to do here. You see, following Jesus isn't always pretty, and it isn't always cut and dry, and you don't always get what you want. But in the midst of all the things that Jesus talks about and what the world has to offer, he promises to be with us. And I can tell you, he's been with me every step of the way. So that's a bit of my story, and I hope I can get to meet you leave a comment, or how I can get in touch with you. I'd love to figure out what it would look like for you to meet and follow Jesus. Thanks for listening, and I hope you can come to Estonia one day too.